Good afternoon. I show 12 o'clock in Texas. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We'll get started here just in a second. All right. Thank you for joining today. I did want to give a shout out to Kathy in the chat because she got her general license just the other day. Look at that. Got general on Saturday. Thanks for the videos to study. And thank you for being here and thank you for letting me know. That's really, really fun. You have to let me know how much you like Parks in the Air. Go do Parks in the Air. It is highly recommended. One of the best things about having general is to be able to do Parks in the Air on HF. So, thanks for joining today. Lunchtime live stream. It's 12 o'clock at 12:01 in Texas, I show. And we're going to talk about Field Day, which is this weekend. Officially, it starts at 1 p.m. Texas time on Saturday and goes for 24 hours until 1 p.m. Texas time on Sunday. So that's 1800 UTC. 1800 UTC Saturday to 1759 UTC on... That's right, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. On Sunday. So 24-hour event. If you've never done Field Day before, find a local club near you. Go out there. Most clubs I'm aware of that do Field Day, they welcome new people, or you don't even really have to be licensed at all. You can just go out there and kind of check out their setup and see what they're doing, and they'll be happy to explain things to you. If you're in the DFW area, there's a lot of really good clubs. Dallas Club, Denton Club, a lot of the clubs in mid-cities, the Hearst Club, the NetArc, Northeast Tarrant Amateur Radio Club, the Bedford Club, the Euless Club, the Carrollton Metrocrest Amateur Radio Society, Mars Club. They all do Field Day. And I know they would all welcome you out to take a look around and see what the setup is. So that is where it is this weekend, and I suspect you've got a club near you that's going to do Field Day. So check them out, email them, call them, whatever, and find out if you can go kind of just search through what they're doing and kind of watch them for a little bit and get a feel for it if you've never done Field Day before. If you've done Field Day before, then plan on participating this weekend if you can. We're going to be operating as KN5TR, Kilo November 5 Tango Radio, out at my hunting lease. It's going to be a pretty fun time, I suspect, although it's going to be freaking hot, but I don't know. Whatever. It's all good. It's all good. Sign the book, too. Yeah, good idea, Ed. Most of them have like a guest book at their Field Day event where they can get people sign up, and if you don't want to give your phone number or email, you don't have to usually, but just kind of they like to get counts of the community that comes by and checks out their setup for Field Day. Let's see. Look for the GOTA station at Field Day. That's a good place to get. Yeah, so a lot of clubs will set up a GOTA station. Get on the air is what that means. GOTA. And it is a station set up specifically for people who are new to ham radio, not club members, maybe not even licensed. As long as someone with the GOTA call sign is sitting there right next to you, it's perfectly fine for you to get on the air with third-party traffic and make a couple contacts and see what it's all about. So a lot of stations have a GOTA station set up as well, and they do that so that so that newcomers can come by, non-licensed people or somebody who's just never done Field Day can come by and get on the air and see what it's all about. So yeah, good shout out there. Overlanding for Fun YouTube channel member. Special shout out to the rest of you who are YouTube channel members. I see Ed in the chat, Ham Radio Crusader, Randall, KR5EEE, Skeeter's in there, K7TRD, Rick, K9EID, IED is in there, IED. And who else? There was somebody else up there earlier. I think N5SKT and 503 Nick were the first two to comment. So appreciate the support there. Yeah, that's a good one, Steve. ARRL.org/field-day-locator. So I will pin that to the top of the chat. You guys go check that out real quick. And you can find out who's doing field day where and see if there's somebody near you. So we did a, well, first of all, let me start with this, because those of you who are following me or who met up with me in Dayton, you know that my All-Star node died. I rebuilt it yesterday. So I rebuilt my All-Star node yesterday. I turned the camera on, and I put a brand new micro SD card into my Sherry node. Well, I imaged it. I showed how to image it, put it into the Sherry node, and went through the setup configuration. So that's going to be a video upcoming. I realized the other day, maybe a week or two ago, I don't remember, I realized that I have never done a video on All-Star that was not a live stream. So I didn't have anything edited, shorter form edited, uploaded video on the channel about how to set up All-Star, and I wanted to do that for this node. My node conveniently died on me, so I was like, yeah, this is a good opportunity to go ahead and show how to set up a Sherry node from scratch, brand new SD card, a micro SD card, imaged with the HamVoip image. That's the word I was looking for. Imaged with the HamVoip image, which you can download and use to image a micro SD card through a program on Windows called Win32 Imager, Win32 Disk Manager. That's it. There's several of them out there. Win32 Disk Manager is one of the ones that the in fact, if you go out and download the HamVoip image, it's a self-extracting zip file. So it's a .exe file. So you just run the .exe and it self-extracts to a folder, and it has 5 or 6 files in it. One of those files is Win32 Disk Manager, and WinSCP is in there as well. It's another way to image a micro SD card with a .img file on a Windows box. So that is what I did. I recorded that yesterday, got my node back up going yesterday. This is my Supermon page to the All-Star server I'm running in the cloud. Those of you who might have that's good, Lon. I like that. Those of you who might have been connected yesterday. So I got an email from this gentleman, N4LPK, a week or so ago, and he's like, hey, man, I'm trying to connect to your node. Do you have me blacklisted? I'm like, no, dude, I haven't blacklisted anybody from my All-Star node. And he was having trouble connecting, but he was the only one reporting it. And at the time, I had 7, 8, 9 stations connected, and they were all talking. And I'm like, okay, so it's working. Well, when I got my Sherry node rebuilt yesterday, I tried to connect. I couldn't connect to it at all. It did not... I could not connect. I connected to another node. I tried to check and see if Kyle was online. Kyle's not even online. His node's not even online. So there's some other guys down in West Gulf, Texas, down there and around League City and whatnot that keep a All-Star node on a simplex frequency. So I connected to them, and it worked just fine. It's like, okay, maybe there's some kind of something going on with the server. So I rebooted my cloud server yesterday. So if you were on, and 3 or 4 stations have auto connect enabled on their configuration file, obviously, because they've reconnected back up. But if you were on and connected yesterday and got kicked off, that's because I rebooted the server. Feel free to reconnect. This is my cloud server at 43136. I am connected right here. This is my Sherry node. It's inside the house right now. I wanted to get that up and running and connected and configured and working prior to field day, because I'm going to take that with me to field day this weekend. So that's my plan for this weekend, to have that my Sherry node with me at the field day site, and then connected to this server where I stay connected 99% of the time. So it is back up and running. It's working well. I held several QSOs yesterday. I was listening to some guys talk this morning, and that's where it's at. It's all good now. So please connect to All-Star and talk with us if you choose to. See 2 people that have already connected. So there we go. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Kyle. You start talking bad about Kyle, and all of a sudden he pops up in the chat. I can't even connect to my Pi that runs Asterisk. I know if you go to stats.allstarlink.org and search for AA0Z, you don't show online at all. So yeah, I figured that you turned it off, or maybe it just is acting like a Raspberry Pi and it needs a kick in the pants, which that happens sometimes. Don, that's a very good question. Where is KG5HJ in that list? I don't know. That's a very good question. I would like to know the answer to that myself. Good old Frank. All right, so thank you for those of you who just connected. I'll be on. I don't have my radio outside. I didn't want to get distracted by it right here, so I'm not monitoring it at the moment. But as soon as we end the live stream, I'll be back on there. I've got some stuff to do. I've got to pack the truck this afternoon, get ready for field day, and I will be monitoring after we end this live stream here in just a little bit. So field day is coming up again. It starts on Saturday at 1800 UTC. And this is a list I keep on my Amazon store. Now, for those of you who might be new here, I am an Amazon associate. I can make affiliate commissions on certain items from Amazon. So if you are interested in moving the show and supporting the channel, I appreciate your use of my links that I will share with you. It is the link is in the description. I'll put it in the chat right now as well. This is a idea list I created on Amazon for Field Day 2023. I took a lot of the stuff that was on my Field Day 2022 list, and I added it in here, and then I added some more stuff to it also. So this is certainly not everything, and if you guys have some suggestions for other things to add, please feel free to put them in the you won't be able to post a link in the chat, but just tell me what it's called, and I'll go out there and find it. Brent, yes, we're doing Field Day from the hunting lease again this year. Yes, we are. So this I've been sending. I sent this out in email a couple of times. This is the Evolve 3 Maestro laptop. This used to be a $60 laptop. I picked up like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 of them back when they were new, when they were first discovered, I should say. I think they were new, and I gave a bunch of them away on a live stream like I was doing last year. Well, they were out of stock for a while on Amazon. They've been back in stock for, I don't know, a month or two, something like that. I don't know. They're no longer $60, obviously. They're $99.98, right at $100. 23% off of what they call their list price, which is $129.99. The great thing about this laptop is that it charges from 12 volts. 12 volts. No transformer, no step-up or step-down converters needed. You plug it directly into... It doesn't come with a 12-volt charger. It comes with a little proprietary, semi-proprietary plug, this little barrel connector that goes to a regular 110-volt AC outlet, okay? And what you can do is you can cut that plug off the end of it and put power poles on it and plug the rest of that cable directly into a battery box or a Bioenno or something like that. And then keep the plug and put the power poles on the plug also, so that you can plug the power poles on both ends of that cable you just cut together and plug it back into the wall as well, because that little transformer transforms from 110 volt AC down to 12 volt DC, and it charges via 12 volts. I picked up a couple of these fan casey, however you say that, 3-foot replacement cables that come with these bare wires on them, and I put power pole. I think I got two or three of these. I don't remember which one. And I put power poles on all of them. And I put one in my battery box that I leave there with a bunch of other cables, and I kept one with the laptop. I got to get I don't have a laptop sleeve. I need to get a laptop sleeve that I can put some stuff in with it. I might pick that up here in just a little bit. But, in fact, let's put that in there because it says that laptop sleeve fits this laptop. Field Day 2023. But the great thing about this laptop is that it charges via 12 volts. Now, I run the Smart SDR software for Windows for Flex Radio. Runs it just fine. No problems at all. It's not the most powerful laptop in the world. It's not even that well put together. I shouldn't say it's not well. It's a little bit fragile. I'll put it that way. The screen, if you were to put a lot of pressure on the screen and bend it, you'd probably crack the screen. It's not durable. It's not a tough book. It's not anything like that, but it does work if you just take care of it. The keyboard kind of tends to stick a little bit. Sometimes you got to mash the keys down to type accurately, but it runs all the things. It runs Smart SDR, run hammers on it, run a grid tracker on it, run what I haven't tried HRD. I might try Ham Radio Deluxe. I haven't tried that yet. But, you know, for what it is, for a backup laptop that you keep in your bag or your Go kit for ham radio, it works really well. I think it does. Any idea what the current draw is for that laptop when charging? You know, I have not measured that. Perhaps I will do a video and measure that, because I've got one of those. I've got the Amazon Special, and I've got the PowerWorks, the little inline meter with the power poles on either side of it. So I'll check that out. I do not know. WSJTX also, yes, Don. I've run WSJTX connected to my Yaesu FTDX10 from this laptop. I've run WSJTX connected to my Smart SDR and connected back to the radio here in the shack from the laptop. It all works fine. I've not had any problems with running this laptop at all. I don't do any video editing or anything intensive like that on it. I just use it only for ham radio, and it works great. So that is in the store there. I've got that down right there. Right next to it is this fan KC, or however you say it, cable, 3-foot replacement cable for additional charging sources. So I have a really bad habit of losing cables like that. So I bought 2 or 3 of them as backups, and I keep one in different places. I got one in my Go kit, or my battery box, one in my maybe one in 2 different battery boxes actually, and then one with the laptop itself. So that's that. Several of you asked, if you're on my email list, you probably saw this already, but several of you asked after a live stream I did a couple weeks ago about charging solutions for a Yaesu radio. I don't have my FT5 out here right now. But if you go look at your Yaesu radio, if you have an FT3, an FT5, a VX6R, VX7R, VX8, all of the ones right here, it's saying the FT270, FT277, that kind of a bunch of different Yaesu handhelds. You will see, look at the charging cable where you plug the cable into the radio and then in the wall, and look at the transformer on that charging brick and see what it says. It's going to tell you that it's transforming to 12-volt DC, and these Yaesu radios charge directly on 12 volts. So I bought 2 of these myself and put one in the Go box, and I have an HT box as well. I keep 4 or 5 HTs in. I take those everywhere. I put one in there. I put one in my my Explorer battery box from Gigaparts, and yes, it'll work with the 3. Yes, it'll work with the FT3. In fact, I'm pretty sure it'll even work with the FT1 and 2. But yes, it will definitely work with the FT3 and the FT5, because they all basically take the same charger. There's one good thing that Yaesu does. Well, I don't mean one good. That's another good thing that Yaesu does, is they keep their chargers pretty much all the same. They're not all the same, but there's a lot of Yaesu HTs that use the same type of charger. But yeah, so it comes with bare wires. I put power poles on it, and now I've got a Yaesu charging cable for my FT5 and my VX6R, both of which I keep in my HT box. I've got that with me. I've got one of those cables in my battery box. I've got one in the HT box itself, and then and I keep the 12-volt cable with at the house somewhere. But yeah, so you can definitely charge, and they make one of these for, let's see, I don't remember if I put that in there or not. No, I didn't put that in there. If I go over here, they make it where you can actually get one of these cables for, I put it on my Father's Day list, one of these cables for USB. Now, this guy right here will plug into a Yaesu. In fact, it says Yaesu on the device here, but it's not made by Yaesu. It's made by Zerone Store, whatever that is. So this plugs into the Yaesu, and that plugs into USB-A. So you can charge it via USB-A. I got a couple of these as well. They work very well. They're not quite as fast for obvious reasons. It only charges at about 0.4 to 1 amp. So but it is a charging solution. If you have one of those little bricks with the solar panel on it that you keep maybe in your bag to charge your phone, it's got 2 or 3 USB-A ports on the front of it. You can charge this into that same brick and charge your HT as well. So it just depends. And if you don't want to carry around a larger, heavier Bioenno or a battery box itself, if you're trying to go lightweight, this might be a good option, because if you've already got a charging brick for your phone, which I always carry a charging brick for my phone in my backpack, so this you can charge from a Yaesu, you can charge your Yaesu HT from an actual USB port instead of going directly 12 volts into it. So there's that option for you as well. It's just depends on what you want to use. I'm going to put that in my field day list as well. So back over here, let's refresh. Right there. Once again, I'm going to share this field day list link in the chat. I do make commissions from a lot of items on that list, and it helps to grow the channel, so I appreciate it if you guys use it. But if you don't want to, that's okay. Just go to Amazon and search for these items we're talking about today. You can find everything. There's nothing special in here. There's stuff that I found on Amazon. You can always benefit. I bought a pack. I think I bought 2 packs of these and put them in my my new Kyle made me buy it Plano box. In fact, you know what? Let's go find that real quick because I want to see. Let's see. Let's go here. Kyle. I should put this in my list here. I'll put this in my list here in a second. Okay, videos. Okay, this guy right here. No, he's got a sun drop. I didn't see his sun drop short. That's funny. Okay, I think it's I think it's this one here. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the chat. You guys go watch this. Kyle inspired me. He brought this to the More Expo, and he's got 1 or maybe closer to 7 of like everything in this freaking box. It's got a lid on the cover like that. You'll see he opens it up. He goes through all the stuff that's in. He goes through everything he's got in here, which is neat to see. But then you see he opens it up and it opens from the middle. Watch this. It opens from the middle. And it's got this deep side on the left-hand side of your screen right now. And then this thing over on the right, this translucent piece over on the right, opens up again and has another pocket underneath that. So let's see if I can, where he does that part. Well, okay, so he opens up this part here, opens that up, and then he closes that, and he shows underneath over there, and it's got even more stuff right there. So, crazy. He pulled that out at the More, I think it was at the More Expo. Pretty sure and Shane and Kyle and I went to do a park. They're in Springfield, Missouri. It's only like a 10-minute drive down the road. When we were at the More Expo, we're like, hey, let's go activate a park. There's one right down the road. And he pulls this thing out, and Shane and I are like, what is that? He's like, oh, do you need a cable for an Elecraft KX1 that has been made in 16 years? Here you go. That's freaking crazy. Right. So it's insane. Anyway, I went home. No, I didn't even go home. We went back to the campsite. I found this freaking thing on Amazon, and I bought one immediately. So now I've got one that I'm filling. I have mine like a 10th of the way full. Kyle's is full. I have mine like a 10th of the way full. So yeah, it's Plano 1444 tackle box. And you know what? I'm going to do you a solid, Kyle. I'm going to share Kyle's affiliate link in the chat. There you go. There's Kyle's affiliate link in the chat to this Plano 1444 tackle box. And wow, it's really cool. I mean, you know you're a nerd when you're nerding out on stuff like this. You're like, hey, that's pretty cool fishing tackle. The fisherman guys are like, oh yeah, that's a cool tackle box. But then when you see it full of like barrel connectors and PL259s and SMA connectors and heat shrink and just ferrite beads and toroids and all that kind of stuff, you're just like, okay, apparently I've lost my mind. So yeah, so I'm gonna add that one to my store. But that's Kyle's affiliate link in the chat. So if you guys are serious about going to buy that, click on Kyle's affiliate link, because I wouldn't know about this if it wasn't for him. 1444. Yeah, here it is right here. It's about $55, so it's not cheap. And Plano, if you guys have ever been around fishing, I grew up fishing. My dad's a huge fisherman. I didn't grow up hunting. Everybody knows that I have a hunting lease nowadays, but I grew up fishing. We went fishing all the time when I was a kid. Plano is a very well-known name inside of the fishing tackle box world. They make very good, high-quality products. They used to be made in the USA. I'm pretty sure they are still made in the USA, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But either way, they are very well-made items. So I'm going to stick that in my field day box. And you'll see that probably in some videos that I do from field day this year, because I've got it, and I put all my power pole stuff in it. I put all my bunch of heat shrink ferrite beads that I just showed you, stuff like that. So that's going to be a thing at Field Day this year as well. Bump. Field Day. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so ferrite beads, you can never have too many of these because you never know where you're going to get RFI, or especially if you're operating multiple stations next to each other, it's always good to have these available. 4 different various sizes in this kit. So, yeah, pick that up, put it in the bag because you will use it. I know I've used mine a lot. Plano factory is in Plano, Illinois. See, we have a Plano, Texas here. And at one point in time, long time ago, Bill Dance is taking notes right now. See, I got that reference. There's a Plano, Texas, and for the longest time, I thought that they were made in Texas, but I was told that wasn't true, but I don't know. Yeah, Plano, Illinois. That's still in the United States, so yeah, I'm pretty sure they are still made in the USA. So I think there's a show about hoarders. Yeah. Okay, Second Amendment Strong. Freaking awesome name. And I'm pretty sure this guy told me he was like 15 years old, 14 years old, something like that. Great name, dude. I'm getting my tech license. What do you think for a model radio? Max price is $300. I have a video on that. Go look at my best HT video for 2022. I haven't done the 2023 version yet. Right now, for $300, well, at Dayton Hamvention, they were selling the Yaesu FT5 for $299 show special. You won't find it for that price again. But that was a heck of a price right there. Probably under $300, I would say the new ICOM ID50 that's about to come out might be roughly about that price. Its big brother, the ID52 that's been out for a while, is about $450. But the new ID50 that's coming out is a toned down version. It's a smaller, a lower featured version of the ID52. So it might be around the $300 price, but they have not announced the price on that yet. So not sure. Maybe one of the Waxon radios from BetterSafeRadio.com. Great radios for a new ham because they all come pre-programmed. So if you go to BetterSafeRadio.com and you go up here and these are the ones, the UV9 Papa X-Ray. UV9 Papa X-Ray is in stock, ships in 4 to 7 days. You can save a 7% discount with the coupon code of HR2all7 on anything on this site. This one comes pre-programmed. Its channel capacity is about 999 channels. They have about 920 channels pre-programmed, a lot of it ham, a lot of it GMRS, business band, that kind of thing. So if you're starting out, you don't know where to listen, that's a good option right there. That's a decent radio. I've got the UV90 Mate, this one's like an 8-watt version, I think. Yeah, 8-watt version. The UV90 Mate is a 10-watt version. There's going to be little, if any, very, very not noticeable difference between 8 and 10 watts on an HT. Don't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that either. Yes, Shane is correct. So the Anytone, well, Anytone's a little bit higher, but the Anytone 878 UV2 Plus is about $315, and it is, right there, $314.99. This is a great radio. This is one of my favorite radios. I've put this radio on my favorites list for the last, 3 years. It and its predecessor, the model that came before this one. So, beautiful screen, large, long battery life, does full transmit and receive APRS beaconing. 500,000 contacts in the DMR world, does DMR and analog, easy to program from the front panel. So this one's $315, and it's a good option as well. So, yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that. It's a great question, and good luck on your test. But it's not what today's live stream is about. But feel free to email me. You want to email me? I'll give you some more details. Happy to talk about that. Let's see. 219 at gig. Well, that's not the UV2 Plus. Oh, unless it's an open box or something. the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that those prices are set by Anytone. Anytone won't let people sell those radios for less. Let's see. 878 UV2 Plus. Yeah. 878 UV2 Plus is $314.99 at Gigaparts as well. Let's just search for Anytone. They might have an older model. Okay, that one right there. That's the UV2. That's not the Plus model. That's the UV2. And it's still a great radio. There's nothing wrong with the UV2. Nothing wrong with the UV2. It doesn't have, I think it does only transmit and not receive APRS, and it only holds 300,000 contacts for DMR. I think that's the main difference between those two models. So if you're not into DMR, you may not care about that. If you don't care about APRS, that's fine too. You may not care about that, but yes, yeah, that's the one right there. So, but the latest and greatest is the UV2, which is 315 everywhere. There we go. Okay, so back to field day. Yeah, you guys are. Yeah, I'm 30 seconds ahead of you guys. So everything you hear me saying right now is I said 30 seconds ago. So I see you talking about the non-plus model in the chat. Yes, you can get the non-plus model for less than that. Absolutely. So, okay, so this guy right here is a smart charger. And I bought this, let's see, I purchased this September of last year. And it's actually right over there. Yeah. So I've used this for a long time. If you watched my video about the, which one was it? It was one of the power stations I was reviewing. And I had a lot of RFI. Well, this thing produces a lot of RFI. So if that's a concern to you, I would not recommend this smart amp charger. But I really like this smart amp charger, because their smart battery charger, because it has a screen on it. You can set it for lithium, you can set it for AGM or lead acid, or you can set it for LiFePO 4. And it has a screen on it. It tells you exactly how much is charging, how many amps. It goes up to 20 amps max on 12 volts. It'll also do 24 volts. And it'll show you what it's doing on the screen. I really like that. So don't use it while you're trying to operate a radio. But, you know, when you go to bed at night and you plug your stuff in, charge it up for tomorrow, it's a great option for that. Mine broke on me. The plug in the side of it got loose. Like, I would notice that I would plug it in and clip it to a battery, and it would beep and then turn off, and then beep and then turn off when I would touch it. So it had a short in it somewhere. Well, I opened it up, and you'll see this on a video. I recorded a video about this. I opened it up. I'm like, this can't be that hard to fix. I opened it up, and it had 2 cold solder joints on the plug. I resoldered and put it back together. It works great. So I'm not saying yours is going to break, and $62 is a little bit high of a price for something that, but I used the heck out of mine. I use it everywhere. Take it everywhere. Charge my battery boxes with it, my external battery, my truck with it, everything. So I really like it. I think it works well. Other than the RFI, that's the only thing that really sucks about it. But for what it is, I think it's a useful charger. So you'll see a video about that upcoming soon. That will be how I repaired it. Which, if I could repair it, everybody else can do it, no problem. Okay, I'm just watching the chat here. Yeah, Liberty Cave, good. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, good. Yeah, it worked. Yeah. RFI noisy, but it works well. So, who's used this One Tigris stuff? I have this chair. Some of you might laugh at this chair. Let's see. They have dog packs. That's awesome. Tents, sleeping bags, but chair. I don't know. Maybe they don't have that one anymore. But I bought this chair a while back. It's one of those ones that sits down low to the ground, and you might have trouble getting out of sometimes. Okay, they don't have it on Amazon right now. Well, I bought that chair a long time ago. It folds up into a little bag, and that's when I keep it in my truck. It's just a little spare chair that I keep in my truck that, you know, when I get places I need. But I was really happy and impressed with the quality, so I put this this tent. I would love to have this hot tent. Of course, you don't need a hot tent this time of year in Texas. But this looks really cool because you got a hammock inside the tent. So you're not even sleeping on the ground. You're sleeping in a hammock inside of a tent. I guess you could sleep on the ground if you want to. You know, and this one right here, he's got a hammock, a cot, a chair. My chair looks similar to that one. and you can put like a titanium type stove with a smokestack in it that goes through the roof. And this is just a really neat looking tent. I want to do some stuff with this winter at the hunting lease, and maybe set up a radio station in there, kind of go out in the woods and just do some radio, do some hunting or not hunting, but do some camping and whatnot. So, but that's kind of a neat looking tent. So I thought that was a cool looking tent. I put that in there. The EcoFlow Wave 2, I got this. I emailed EcoFlow, sent me a couple of power stations and battery and solar generators, as they're called, and I emailed them and I was like, hey, I've got an opportunity where I can actually use this field day, and I wonder if you could send me one of these. And they're like, sure, here you go. And they sent me the extra battery. I didn't even ask for that. So I've got this, and I'm going to set it up inside of one of our tents at field day and see how well it works. So I set up on my patio the other day and turned it on. I was just sitting there with the tube blowing me right in the face, and I'm like, this feels pretty darn good, man. It feels pretty darn good. So, but it has this port right here is the AC vent. This port right here is the heater vent. So it also acts as a portable heater. And then you put a tube, and it's got an intake in the back there. It comes with 2 tubes. So you put the intake tube on so that it sucks the air in from wherever you are, and you can extend the tube. It's like a accordion style tube. You can extend it and bend it around. And then you put either the AC or the heat tube on whatever you want, and you stick it into the tent or something like that. Or maybe you put the whole thing in the tent, and you stick the heater tube outside, and so that it's blowing heat outside the tent. And then you've got AC blowing inside the tent and heat blowing outside the tent, and you can switch that during the winter if you wanted to. So I'm looking forward to trying that. It seems to work really well. Don't know how long it will last with that extra battery, but they say it'll last 8 hours, but I'm like, okay, 8 hours in what kind of conditions? If it's 100 degrees outside, it probably is not going to last as long as if it's like 80 degrees outside. So, yeah, I don't know. 8 hours is kind of like maybe not. Not cheap. N5 SKT, didn't you recently get one of those? I think you said you got one of those, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so looking forward to trying that, and watched a couple of YouTube reviews from different channels. I'm like, yeah, this should work fine. So there's that. Not cheap, but if you need a portable air conditioner, there you go. This is their 768 watt-hour power station that they sent me. And they say this is the largest power station you can get, solar generator you can get that is sub 1 kilowatt. So, and it's small and lightweight, got this carry handle on the top. It works well. It produces a little bit of RFI, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Just kind of set it away from your stuff, and it'll be just fine. So that's in there as well. There's those cables. This is cool. This is non-load bearing. This goes into the hitch on the back of your camper or your Jeep or your truck or something like that. And I have put my Spider Beam 7-meter mast into that and done parks on the air with it. Just hung an infed half wave from the Spider Beam's mast, extended it all the way out, dropped it inside that hitch attached to the truck, and there you go, instant antenna mount wherever you go. So I've got one of those that I keep in my truck now, and it works well. For it says currently unavailable. That's too bad. But there's another one right here. That's expensive. That's not right. This one right here, that's closer to the price I paid. I think mine was like 20 or 30 bucks, something like that. This one right here might be load bearing, 70 bucks. Maybe it's a little bit more heavy duty, but seems a little high. The one I have is thin metal. You can tell it's not. You couldn't do much with it. So I'll drop this one in there because the one I bought is actually out of stock right now. But it's neat to have that to keep in the truck. You want to go out and do a POTA activation, and maybe you set up somewhere where you're in a parking lot or there's no trees around or something like that. Just mount it to your truck and go. Easy. Yeah, Don, I thought you bought one of those Wave 2s. So you have to let me know how you like it. I assume you're going to use it at field day, but I don't know. I ran my 12-volt 12-volt refrigerator 2 days, and 100 amp hour battery. It was down to 40%. Are you Liberty Cave? Are you talking about that Wave 2, or what are you talking about? Kind of trying to watch the chat, but yeah. Question. When I transmit on my FTM 6000, it about turns my Suburban engine off. It is wired to a house 220 battery system with a separate charge system. When I transmit on FTM 1000, it about turns my Suburban engine. Really? What's wired to your house? Your FTM 6000 is wired to your house. It's wired to a house 220 amp battery system with a separate charge system. That sounds to me like you've got a problem with your Suburban engine. Because I've never in my life heard of a 50-watt VHF UHF radio turning an engine off. I mean, yeah, it might be. It's obviously when you're transmitting, you know, you're going to get some interference from stuff. You know, like when I key up an HT right here and it buzzes in the mic. But wow, I've never heard of such a thing. I would think that's a problem with your engine because have you tried another radio? Probably the least expensive way to do it. Try another radio, and see what happens with that. But RF getting into the ECU, yeah, obviously, yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a really poor grounding issue on your vehicle computer or something like that. Yeah, a house battery. Yeah, so a house battery. Yeah, so the way I read that, you say it is wired. You don't say what it is, whether it's the Suburban or the radio. So I think you're talking about the radio. The radio is wired to a 220 amp battery system with a separate charge system. So you're running your FTM 6000 in your home. I assume in your home. Or maybe it's all in the same system. Maybe it's all in. Is it all in your Suburban? You got a separate battery in your Suburban, and you've got a separate charging system for it. And when you key up your radio in your Suburban, it shuts your engine off. That's still an engine issue. Yeah, RF is getting into your engine, and your engine is not properly shielded. Your engine or your engine computer is not properly shielded to prevent that sort of thing. I would try a different radio. The easiest thing to do, get a different radio. Get a different 50-watt radio and try it and see if you get the same result. It's possible your FTM 6000 is messed up somehow and producing spurious emissions where it shouldn't be. It's possible. But if it does it with a second radio, you've got engine problems. And that's going to be my guess. I'm guessing you've got engine problems. Poor grounding, poor what do they call? Poor shielding is the word I'm looking for on your computer and or your engine inside your Suburban. So yeah. You need to ground it for sure, but even with that out grounded, it shouldn't shut off your freaking engine. That's ridiculous. Yeah. So okay, back to the situation at hand. I will say this real quick. I want to thank most of you, or many of you, who sounds like a Baofeng distributor cap. That's good. I want to thank a lot of you who emailed me and commented on the AMA video that I did last Sunday. That's the third time I've done an AMA video, and I always get a lot of really good comments on it. So I think I'm going to start that on a regular thing. I think I'm going to start doing that about once a month. And my thought was to invite one guest speaker, generally a YouTuber. I think Shane's going to come on with this next month. And just say, hey, we're going to have an AMA. You guys come in there, come chat. And we'll just respond to the chat for the whole hour and a half live stream, however long it goes. And because I got a lot of really positive feedback on that setup last Sunday, after the stream last Sunday. And also the two times I did it before that, I got a lot of really positive feedback on it. So I was happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that you guys are enjoying that and interested to come in and into the chat with questions. So yeah, so be watching for that. I'll make an announcement for that in a couple weeks, but probably sometime in July, we're going to bring Shane on. We're going to do another AMA, and it's going to be a monthly thing from then on out. I've got Hayden and Tio, who both showed interest in coming on as guest speakers for an AMA, so that's going to be a thing. So yeah, appreciate you guys being out there for that. side note there. All right, so BNC male to UHF female. You can never have too many of those. The brands you buy on Amazon are okay. They're not as good as like say Amphenol connectors or like Mezzi and Palomi connectors, but they're less expensive also. So to have a couple of these as a backup is not a bad thing, I think. These LED Lenser flashlights, I bought my dad one of these for it was the P7R, I believe, was the model I got for him. I got him one of those for Father's Day. And these are really well-made flashlights. I met this guy at the More Expo in 2022. I was walking by his table. He stopped me. He's like, "Hey, Jason, I watched your show." Turns out he's a ham. He owned this company, or at least that maybe it's a franchise. I'm not sure. And he gave me some flashlights. Well, I went back this year and I bought a couple of flashlights from him because I liked them so well. So yeah, LED Lenser makes really good stuff. You guys are going to be happy with those if you try one. Chrissy, thanks for the super chat. Yeah, I hope you do some field day stuff as well. Do you know of a good 12-volt battery eliminator for a Baofeng, you mean? 12-volt battery eliminator. Oh. No, I would just I don't have one on top of my head, Don. I would just probably search Amazon for it. I've never really tried one myself. I got some more flashlights here. This right here, this Renogy suitcase. Okay, so those are available as well. Interesting. I need to update that. Was assembly tool? Nope. Okay. Renogy 200. I got one of these last year. Used it several times. I broke one of the MC4 connectors on it. I need to repair. So I might make a video about repairing MC4 connectors because I've never done that before. So, but these are. This works really well. I set this out in the stand right next to the RV, and I used it to charge the RV trailer. And it works good. I like the way that's set up. It has a charge controller built into the back of it. So you just take the alligator clips that come with it and plug it into your battery and you're done. In fact, they call it a 200-watt suitcase. Yeah, suitcase. So I wonder if they changed the 200-watt. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. That one's probably, they probably have updated it since I got mine. That's probably a old model. But those work really well. It's nice and convenient because it's firm and it's rigid. It comes with a carrying case that you put it in that looks like a suitcase. So you just open it up. It's got a solar charge controller. You plug it up to your battery and you're done. And then as the sun moves during the day, you just kind of adjust it on the ground. That works well. I've been happy with mine. These Mopica sensors are really cool. If you have an RV or a gas grill or something with a propane tank, you put this on the bottom of the propane tank. It's magnetic. So you just stick it on the very bottom of the tank, and then you download the Mopica app on your phone, and it will tell you how much gas you have left. So you always know how much propane you have left when grilling or when using. I use the heck out of this thing on my RV during the winter when we're out at the hunting lease during hunting season to keep a tab on how much propane I have because my heater in my trailer runs on propane. So it works great. It's all an app right in your phone, and it tells you right how many you've got. So good product there. These Iceco fridges, I still have my Iceco fridge. I have that exact model right there, and they work well. 12-volt fridges are not cheap, but that's probably the largest fridge I have. I'm gonna have two or three fridges at Field Day this year, so probably I might do like a comparison video or something on them. We'll see. But those Iceco fridges are really good as well. All right, let's look at the chat. Right, that's true, Don. 12-volt battery eliminator from Baofeng. You may be able to use one from the B-Tech. Yeah, the B-Tech would work. The B-Tech 5x3 is the same form factor as the UV5R. So all the accessories are interchangeable. Thomas, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, Steven says Mopica works great. Yeah, I love that Mopica thing, man. It's awesome. Because I was always running out of gas in my old trailer. And now I had 2 bottles in my old trailer. So I would just have to get up in the middle of the night. I'd get cold. And I was like, oh, the gas is off. Okay, so I'd get out and go out, turn the first bottle off, turn the second bottle on, and just go back. Because I like to keep one bottle. I don't turn both bottles on at the same time. I turn one on at a time. That way, if I run out, I've got a spare bottle. But my new trailer only has 1 bottle. Now I'm going to upgrade that. I'm going to put a dual bottle system on it, but right now I haven't done that yet. Either way, it's nice to see how much gas you've got, because the gas is used for the water heater. My new trailer, the gas is used for the heater, the water heater, and of course the stove. The 2 burners that I have, they use gas as well. So if you're taking showers at night and cooking during the day, then you're still using gas. So it's good to, even during field day, we'll be doing that, and it's good to know how much gas you've got. I have a 12-volt cooler that's much more affordable than a 12-volt fridge. Not as large, but good for beverages or meats. I would be careful with meats. I don't know what you mean by cooler instead of fridge. Give me a make and model of what you're talking about, and I'll look it up. 12-volt fridges are not cheap, that's true, but you're saying a 12-volt cooler, so obviously it still runs on battery power. So if it still runs on battery power, you can control the temperature, then meats would be okay in there. I usually just put drinks in mine, honestly. I've kept some sandwich meat in it before, but yeah, just don't remember before you swap your tanks at Home Depot. It's a good point. I don't really swap my tanks. I have a place here I get them refilled. So I just take it up, get it refilled, and put the same tank back on. But yes, yeah, you don't want to forget it, because it is on the bottom of the propane tank, and it will it will get forgotten because you can't see it. So these guys right here. Oh, this is the soldering station. It's sitting right here on the desk. You can't see it right now. This is a soldering station I used, and last year we were making coax out of some Mezzi and Plomi stuff that Mike had, and he brought his whole soldering station with him. So he carries this one in a box to where I suspect he'll have it at field day again this weekend. I don't know. But that's a really good, that Hacko, I think is how you say it, soldering station. Variable temperature control on this unit, and really good soldering station there. So I keep that one in the box. These are really fun to keep around because you can use them for all kinds of stuff. This is the same type of S-beaner that's on the end of a pack tenna, and you can use those for guy wires. You can use them for tie downs. You can use them for anything you want to. So I've got a couple of packs of those in my new Kyle toolbox. So, but that's there. Paracord is always good to have around. You're going to run out, or something's going to get torn up, or you're going to have to cut it to a short length and you lose part of it or something. So paracord is always good to have around as well. But that's it. I will add some more stuff in here between now and field day. Amazon has 2-day shipping on most things, especially if you have Prime. You have 2-day shipping on most things. So if you're gonna, if I've reminded you of something today, you might want to go out there and grab it so that you can get it shipped today and be here by Friday before you go to field day this weekend, because it will come down to being too late before, in another day or two, you're not going to have time to get anything. Unless you have a local store to you. You have a local radio, you still have a Radio Shack near you. Those of us in Tarrant County have Mauser down south, but they're closed on the weekend, so you can go down there till Friday and get some stuff. But yeah, I just, the great thing about Amazon is, like, I think about something. I was like, oh, I need to order this. I go click order. I was like, okay, I'm not in a hurry for it. I can wait a day or two. I don't need it right now. So I love that part of it. That's good, Noel. I like that. New t-shirt idea. Ask me about Kyle's box. "12-volt cooler was a Coleman. Did not get as cold as the fridge." No, I wouldn't think it would. My fridge will get down. My fridge has ice crystals in it. One of them does. Well, 2 of them do. 2 of them have ice crystals in it. My Snowmaster that I keep in my truck, it's about 7 years old now. It works. It still works. But It'd help if I didn't keep it in the back of the truck and sit in the sun all day. It would probably work better. Oh well. Second Amendment strong. Okay, the video I was talking about. Let's see. Bump. Oh. Help if I type the right URL. Let's see. Right there. Best HT for 2022, right here. And there's been 2 or 3 new models come out since I recorded this video. I need to do the 2023 version of it, but you can go back to and check that out. I just linked it in the chat. Yeah, but that's it. So, all right, guys, thanks for hanging with me today. Lunchtime live streams are always fun. And once again, those of you who might have just joined us, it's I'd appreciate you using the links we shared today in the chat and going out and using my Amazon store. I can make commissions, and it does help to support the channel. But if you don't want to, for whatever reason, just go to Amazon.com and type in all the stuff we talked about today. It's not hard to find. So, but that is where it is. So we will be operating as KN5TR, Kilo November 5 Tango Radio, this weekend for Field Day. So I invite you guys to come out there and try to make contact with us. Put it into your ham alert. Put KN5TR in your ham alert. I will be operating FT8. So it'll be easy to the Reverse Beacon Network and the other spotter networks pick up FT8 almost immediately. So put KN5TR into your ham alert and watch for me on FT8, and then sometimes you can get alerts about sideband also, depending on who's picking it up. And lastly, one last time, the All-Star node is the All-Star hub is up and running. I got my individual node repaired yesterday. Oh, KO4AFL is in there. What's up, Steve? In All-Star, I saw you in the chat, of course, in All-Star. So I got my Sherry node rebuilt yesterday. You'll see a video on that probably next week, showing how to set that up from scratch. And I've got it connected in there right now, and I'll be monitoring the All-Star hub for the rest of the day. 43136 is that All-Star system, and I plan to take it with me to Field Day this weekend and monitor it. You know, I won't be monitoring it every day because I'll be on the HF radio a lot, but I plan to have it running out there while we're at Field Day, and have an HT turned on to kind of pick it up when I hear somebody talking or something like that, and I'm not on the HF radio. I will grab it and talk to you. So 73 all, thanks guys for joining. Everyone have a good Field Day, and be sure to buy. I should have put cases of water on my Amazon store, but I didn't. Go buy yourself a case of water or 3 if you're going to Field Day in Texas this weekend, because it's going to be hot. 73 guys.